Warriors, champions of Knave. It's time to celebrate. Time to sharpen your blades and your spears and prepare. Territory control is finally arriving to our favorite game. This is going to be amazing. So I don't have a lot of footage to show you, but let me share this from Beta Sonic. He put this out from the PTR test, and let me just say, it is nothing short of incredible. So get yourself hyped up, get yourself ready. In a mere few hours, we will be live with territory control, new prominence system, new elementalism spells. The game, it's going to be completely fresh and new content, new things to do. It's going to be incredible. So let me play this clip. You can see what you'll be experiencing tomorrow. If you haven't seen this yet, this is truly a fantastic view of what's going to happen, what's going to go down tomorrow. As you see, you've got every human character that you see before you now. Each of those is being played by a human. So this is 40, 50 players here on this one side alone, and then all their pets, their mounts. It's remarkable, and the quality of the gameplay, the frames per second, everything is remarkable. They added siege machinery. They've added elementalism spells, all these things to really create an epic encounter. And I just cannot wait to get logged in tomorrow and check it out. You have to push, you have to work together, you have to move your own equipment. Like there's all these little small details that really set this apart and make it that level of realism, that level of immersion that you don't see in a lot of other games. Truly remarkable work. It's a small team. It's a big shout out to Henrik and his team at Star Vault to pull together and make this remarkable achievement with their small team. It is stunning. So what you're looking at here, this is a castle been built by players. You've got a stronghold here in the foreground on the left where the attackers have kind of set up their siege camp. They've got their siege tent here to the left, boulders, ballistas, all of their ammunition for their siege equipment. You see the mages have started firing volleys of fireballs, tornadoes. You'll see all of that here in a second. You've got all types of mounts. You've got horses. You've got mulvas, which are these giant rhinoceros-looking things with fur. You've got campodons, which are the giant elephants. Some of them, it look like they've got open wounds on them. Those are actually risen or zombie pets created by necromancers. What you just saw shooting up to the sky a moment ago, that is for elementalists. They are essentially priming the sky to use the elements to launch spells and launch attacks on the area around them, but they have to set the space first. So there's multiple tornadoes going here. The roaring wind, it's amazing. You got mages launching fireballs everywhere. I mean, this is remarkable stuff, and all those people on the screen are humans or other players playing. So like the performance is great. The visuals are stunning. There's a starfall spell right there. It's like an orbital strike of comets. Up first wall's down. Look at that. Already destruction on the outer wall. Already multiple catapults, multiple ballistas firing offensively and defensively. Ham and Pineapple Studios, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. There's a campodon. You've got a bear. Multiple different pets. There's some other elementalism spells here coming through. I mean, just incredible. So tomorrow this will be fully live on the live server, not the test server, the live server. So it's going to be a madhouse. Guilds getting into the game, going to be getting their prominence points up, buying their support, because you're going to have structures for crafting, for priests, for trading. All of those things have their own dedicated structures. And then, of course, you have your siege tent that we saw earlier, and then your ballistas and your other siege machinery that you can then create there at the battlefield. So the way this works, you got 4 posts there near ground level where you'll have human operators that will provide the manpower to move this thing. The driver that you see in the seat, he actually controls where it goes and the aiming, but he has to rely on a teammate to fill or reload the ballista. More shots of starfalls and lightning strikes. Elementalism really shines in the visuals on this. All of the foot soldiers and the mounts are just pretty much trying to avoid any kind of collateral damage from ballistas or archers that are firing back from the walls. You got a few zombies here on your foreground to the left, a couple of greater walkers kind of walking around. I mean, it's really remarkable. I know it's taken a while. I'm not going to lie. Nearly two years, but it's remarkable. And it's finally here. We're finally ready to go live with TC. I cannot wait. Appreciate everybody stopping in and hanging out. It's been a while since I've broadcasted. It's been a minute. Personal stuff, but I had to come on tonight and at least enjoy the excitement and the hype for TC finally launching. So this is the first of 2 major milestones for this game. So the next one will happen in October. In October, there'll be the launch of the Epic platform, the Epic release that includes Unreal Engine 5. So all of this visuals you'll see now will look even better. They'll be using nanites and all of the rest of the Unreal Engine 5 technology to really make the network code shine. It's going to be remarkable, and can't wait for that either. So that's going to follow this up in roughly 3 months in October. So you've got 2 huge updates coming out here soon. So this one happens tomorrow for the territory control, the sieging, the prominent system, the 2 new elementalism spells, emanation and arrangement. I think that also includes the entities, which are the pets for elementalism. So that's going to be huge. Like I said, the prominent system for how you're going to gain points for your guild and your group for either crafting, for glory, for PvP, or for PvE content. That's going to be huge. Whole new UI system for guild interaction and communication. So right here, look at here. So you see these guys that are manually carrying these boulders. There's 2 of them, one in the foreground. Bam! Crushed that man. Should have kept his head on a swivel. But you see the guys in the corner, like this guy here, carrying these boulders. You have to physically carry your ammunition to help load. It's part of that immersion. It's part of that realism. So you've got men carrying the boulders to reload their siege machinery. I mean, it's incredible. There's a lot of guys ready to launch. That's pretty smart. They're launching a lightning strike, and there's a ballista arrow that hits something here. There's multiple ballista arrows striking. So they're defensively from the castle. They are launching ballistas into these catapults, trying to disable them, trying to mitigate some of the damage. The attackers here are bringing the walls down. There's some different lava attacks, fireball attacks. It gets pretty nuts here in a minute. You'll see a lot of elementalism trying to keep this wall, this hole in the wall, this breach point sealed up. So you'll see you'll see tornadoes. Here you go. You'll see tornadoes. You'll see lava ball. You'll see fireballs. All kinds of things trying to keep this spot sealed as much as possible.
We must advance.
It's really impressive. There's friendly fire, so these guys need to be careful with these boulders coming in, that they don't get clipped by their own side. There you can see more of the siege siege tents here defensively, but you see there's ballistas mounted up in the barrels. You see the boulders so that they have enough ammunition to fire attacks back. Really amazing stuff. Again, huge kudos to Starvault and Henrik and Farmer Joe and all those guys that have worked so tirelessly on this for multiple years now, and all the pressure and the stress, and because the end result looks just stunning. Absolutely. There's a nice lava ball there to kind of get people burning. You see how everybody had to dip out because of starfall right on top of that. So they're already burning, and now they're getting struck with a starfall. I mean, there's going to be some amazing visuals tomorrow when this actually goes live on the real deal. I just hope that some houses remain. That's my only concern, is I'm going to get on and like everything that I own will be razed to the ground, because people are just going to be bloodthirsty and hungry to try out the siege equipment, that they're just going to attack any structure they see near their towns. So I'll have to provide you that update. And if it is, so be it. It's part of the game, but this just looks remarkable. So if you want to check this out on your own, the user on YouTube that posted this is Beta Sonic. So shout out to Beta Sonic for capturing this with no UI and letting you see and take in everything. It's incredible footage. There's multiple lightning strikes. There comes a starfall right on top of them. So tomorrow, the new spells are Emanation and Arrangement. A lot of those spells for Elementalism are walls and domes and almost like defensive and like protection. So there's an ice dome that puts like a giant ice bubble around you and your team for an amount of time that's either has to melt or be broken. There's also rock walls that you can cast to defend and set up a barrier between you and someone that lasts 20 seconds or something like that. Like some really, really cool spells that are different, nothing like we've had so far. We've had a lot of offensive spells, healing spells, some CC spells in a way, or just like the tornado that just throws you up in the air and can kind of displace you and kill you if it throws you up high enough, like that. Those guys aren't quite getting thrown high enough, but if they get a little bit higher, then you'll see them drop and instantly turn into a loot bag. Yeah, this is incredible stuff, and I can't wait to try it. Cannot wait. Just a few hours away at this point. And if you didn't get a chance to catch it today, Henrik did a really good stream earlier today with a panel. Lourdes, Nazori, Shadow V, Kuthara, a bunch of recognizable names and voices from the game, talking about the launch of TC, talking about some future development of the game, some concerns they have. So I felt like the players' voices were definitely reflected in this presentation that they did today. But if you're curious about that at all, I would definitely check that out. And also, if you go on the Starvault website, they've got an amazing breakdown of a primer to get into territory control. It kind of breaks down the prominence system, the structures, what's going to be needed to form the different tasks. Really, really detailed breakdown of how all that stuff's going to work. So if you haven't seen it yet, I'd definitely go there and check it out. I think it's in there, either the news or the media section. I think it's in the news section. If you scroll down a couple of posts back, you'll see a thing that says getting started with territory control. And it's a really multi-page presentation. It goes into very specific details on how the different mechanics work. Definitely worth the read if you're checking the game out. And if you're new, if you've never seen the game before with the combat, the game is always first person, and then your combat is directional. Like if you've played Mordal or Chivalry or something like that, where you've got vertical attack, left and right attacks, and then you've got a straight thrust attack. And blocking is the same way, left, right, over the head, or a thrust. You also have some feints, and you have some ways to try to mask some of your swing directions. So you'll see some of that here, where the guys are kind of holding, and then they may feint and then swing from another direction. But all your attacks are physical. Friendly fire is also on. So you really got to have some discipline. You just can't run in there and try and go ham just spamming stuff, because friendly fire is a huge concern through all of this. It was a devastating boulder. Took out 2 guys in one shot there. 1 offensive, 1 defensive players. What they did on this test was they gave all the attackers like the bronze, I think it's right, and I think they gave all the defenders the chrome look, so you could kind of easily tell the difference between the two. Or the cuprum and the chrome, I should say. So I'm curious to see tomorrow on live how fast these things are going to start dropping. I heard Cathara say today on the stream with Henrik that they can take down a level 2 or a tier 2 stronghold in about a half hour. So don't think they'll be able to do anything like that to strongholds as quick, only because the strongholds have a couple of supply camps that you have to weaken first. And if anticipate what's going to happen happens, a lot of the people that own castles are going to immediately go out and look for things they can do to bolster the defensive rating. Because if there's a certain level, if you get to with those supply camps and towers and everything else, that you actually have immunity, that until they take those camps out, you actually can't even take damage to your castle. You have to weaken it by taking out the supply camps first. So I don't think they show those here, but they look like little wooden forts outside of the stone walls, usually like a few. Man, that is absolutely true. Toku Fuku. It is going to be a war zone. It's going to be a madhouse. I think a lot of those homes that people have scattered across the land, they're going to be razed to the ground tomorrow. People are going to be retreating back into the cities. People will be retreating back to cities to live. It's going to be complete game changer on the way people live and play the game. But it's going to be hella exciting. I did. What's going on, Terrorbird? I did. I played Mortal 1, but unfortunately, I didn't play Mortal Online 1 when all the cool stuff happened. I played it very, very, very early. Pre-Steam greenlit early. I mean, very early in the game. And then left. And I never did actually come back to try it out once they had put all of the more advanced stuff in the sieging and all the walls online, all that kind of stuff that it turned into. So I didn't get to experience all that stuff. So for me, this will be experiencing pretty much for the first time, where a lot of the MO1 veterans got to see what the sieging and everything was like. Now, there won't be walls this time around. They didn't like how it kind of walled off large portions of the map in MO1. So you won't have the big walls, but you will be able to have influence across the land. So when you're setting up your control of the different towers around, you're setting up your castle, when you're putting structures down around your castles or around your strongholds, you'll be creating areas of effect that kind of help you with influence and what you can do. And I know I saw today that he made the announcement that for castle owners, any strongholds that are within their area of influence, they'll get 50% of the upkeep directly into their, castle coffer, which is pretty incredible. So like that guy that put that sieging house up just outside the keep, he's now paying that keep, half of his, 50 gold for every 20 days or whatever to keep it there for as long as it stands. That'll be part of the new taxing system. So again, this is footage from Beta Sonic during the MO2 ETR test this last time. So if you want to check out the full clip, you can go there. But I think it's the best footage I've seen of the kind of the whole event and what it was like. And the performance looks great. I've seen a few dips in FPS, but for the most part, it's been very, very smooth. Right, that's correct. I like that. It didn't like you can't tax the people into the ground. They pay what they've always paid. But at least now you're getting a portion of the proceeds to you. They put a lot of thought into that stuff, like the whole supply run system in order to maintain your city and the vendors in your city. All that stuff is really, really neat, and it's going to create opportunities for PvP, opportunities for fights to occur, and then they're still supposed to be putting in like the world events, where in a scene like this you would see like a giant plume of smoke that would be like a comet strike, or some type of NPC interaction where they took out a caravan of some sort, and then whoever arrives there first can fight whoever's left and then loot what's there. They've talked multiple times about that, so I'm excited to see when that's going to happen. I don't think that's happening this patch, but it should be happening maybe for the UE5 launch, because they've talked about a lot of POIs coming in for that. That's going to be also a game changer. It's a lot of things to try. So there's if you look to the right, let me pause real quick. So there's, for the people who haven't seen it yet, that structure over here to the right over there, that's the supply camp. So on live, in order to actually assault a keep and do any kind of damage to it, you've got to weaken both of those. There's one there, and there should be another one on the opposite side. Both of those have to be weakened to a certain level in order for the castle even to take 1% damage over time, over an hour or something. So the castles are definitely going to take an effort to bring down compared to homes and strongholds. I imagine the homes and strongholds tomorrow are just going to get decimated as people want to go get their siege gear, and then they want to go try it out on something. So they're going to be looking for the nearest home, nearest whatever, to start lobbing boulders. So I think a lot of strongholds are going down tomorrow. A lot of homes are going down tomorrow, and it's going to be driving people back into the cities. But hopefully that'll be a short-term thing, and the newness will wear off, and then they'll focus on yeah, I imagine several guilds have a hit list of what they want to take out. Problematic, stuff. Hell, I'd love to see the Kodo guys take out some of the ones around Meduli that harbor the guys that like to shield bash and guard exploit, and take out a few of those strongholds of those guys that do that. But I'm going to say again, this is amazing, just really amazing visuals for such a small team to create something that looks this good, that performs this well. And then today on the stream, it was brought up by the panel, what are you going to do if the servers get crushed? And Henrik feel that it's not going to be an issue. If it is, they have plans A and B, which they have to massively and quickly scale up the login servers and the individual nodes for the level streaming to handle that capacity. So they don't feel like it's going to be an issue as it was before. They are not going to spin up alt servers of mainland. He did say if it got just incredibly bad, they could open up another continent, Sarduka, but he was pretty much saying that would be like worst case scenario, we can't get anything else fixed, then we'll just fire up a server for the new continent. So that really sounds very, very unlikely. It sounds more they're just going to have servers available with OVH to fire up additional clusters in some of the congested areas. Yeah, these ballistas, the catapults just look amazing. The detail in them is incredible. The fact that you have to move them with either with other humans to be the manpower is pretty incredible. The fact that you have to load them is pretty cool immersion. Like, you got to go to your siege tent, you got to load the ballista, you got to load the boulder, walk it over, load it. Like, all that stuff is just really high level of detail. I'm hoping that they're able to kind of navigate this fine line of realism and fun. I know there was some early concerns in PTR 1 that there was just no fun in it. By the time PTR 3 hit, it looked like people were having an absolute blast, and maybe some of those concerns are no longer an issue. Welcome to the stream, everybody. It's been a while since I've been on. I'm glad to see everybody stopping by. I know we are all hyped and amped and ready for the next chapter here in Mortal Online 2. It's incredible. The eve of territory control, of the next chapter of elementalism, of the prominent system, the guild upgrades and the guild systems. It's going to be, it's going to feel like a brand new game, and it's going to be amazing. I cannot wait. So if you weren't aware, elementalism is getting 2 more, I'm not sure what the term is. You want to call it chapters or aspects or whatever, but they're getting emanation and they're getting arrangement. Those 2 combined are going to allow you to do things like ice dome, rock wall, a lot of things to kind of create barriers and to kind of control the distance and the way fights are engaged. And that goes along with what they already have with like the tornadoes and the lava balls and the fireballs and everything else. It looks really, really cool. And there was an absolute ton in this footage. There was a ton of elementalism use. You see the fireballs, the lava balls, the tornadoes, the starfalls, like just nonstop. And it's still, just even seeing this footage, it's remarkable to me that all of those humanoids, or nearly all those humanoids that you're looking at, are other human-operated characters, and you still have this level of fluid performance. It's pretty incredible. Okay, and that's what, like 30, 40 humans right there in that one space. Well, 29. Just lost one. The immersion is amazing. Carrying the boulders, carrying the ballistas, loading them for the operator while he navigates. Here's the other ones where you're pushing and helping him reposition his, providing the manpower to reposition his siege machinery within range. I mean, just really kudos to them, man. Really, really great work. So if you want to see more detail, I mentioned it once earlier in the stream, but there's a primer to territory control that's available on the Mortal Online 2 website. Go to, I think it's under the news section, and you scroll back a few posts. There's a link there for it says getting started in territory control. It goes into excruciating detail on the new prominent system, the territory control structures, the NPCs, all that good stuff. So definitely worth checking that out.
We must advance.
If you'd rather see a video discussion of those kind of things, there was a 3-hour stream today with the CEO of the company and multiple personalities from the community. Cathara, Lourdes, Nazori, Shadow V, were all on the stream with him, and they were discussing, the launch of TC, the things coming with TC, elementalism, and also some future designs that are elements that are coming into the game. Plus, after this launches in October, the game will launch from right now. It's available on Steam. It'll launch on the Epic platform, which is going to be huge. Sorry for that pop. It's going to be huge because then they're going to include Unreal Engine 5 and a bunch of other enhancements with that launch. So that'll be a huge influx of new content, new POIs. Then you'll hopefully get a performance bump because one of the really cool technologies with Unreal Engine 5 is the creation of nanites. And what nanites are is, if you're looking at this screen and you're seeing all the little boulders and you see the wall pieces and the flowers and all this other kind of stuff, all of those items, when in Unreal Engine 5, when used as nanites, it's a huge cost savings and resources because you can have 1,000, you can have 1,000,000 of them, and it counts like it's nothing. It's because it's a copy of the first memory space. So it's hard to describe. If I had a little more preparation, I could have put a couple of slides up where you could see kind of how it works. But essentially, it uses the memory to repeat these reused components without causing a huge resource hit like they do now. Right now, there's a huge resource hit and polygon count and everything else for all these wall pieces and structure pieces and all the rocks that happen when things explode, all that kind of stuff. Well, with nanites, a lot of those things get highly, highly efficient, and they get replicated in a way that doesn't cause a resource load like it does now. So you could see a huge boost in performance once that happens. There's also some really cool water effects and liquid effects in Unreal Engine 5 with fluidity and the way you can make water flow across land. So as good as the game looks now, it's going to look even just more incredible in that new engine. I still can't get over how good this looks. Man. It's so damn fun. I don't think they're going to do the priest changes yet. I think the priest changes, they're still reevaluating what to do. They're going to introduce a smaller platform that you can place priests, but then you'll be able to control them and who they allow to res and whatnot. But there was a concern that if they remove them out of strongholds, no one would be able to defend anything. And so I think they're going to wait on the priest and the equerry fix until they determine kind of how they want to handle it. It's looking great. Can't wait. Yo, what's going on, kings? Welcome to the channel. Are they removing the spin? Henrik has talked about it multiple times in his broadcast that he wants to remove it. But I think their plan is not to remove it, just flat outright move it, but instead create special melee attack abilities, parry breakers, shield bashes, pushing, different things that spinning would be detrimental to the combat because they can do those other things, right? To where it would incentivize you to learn those other batteries of feints and attacks versus just spinning like a spin top and then trying to mask your swing. So I think that's the approach they're going to take versus artificially creating like a turn limiter, a rotation limiter, something like that. Because you don't see a lot of people spinning here. You see it in duels, like but you don't see too many jump spins. You see people jumping, but you don't see too many jump spins. With the melee fighters, you may see it with a few Vila mages, and they try to run and release a cast or something. But you see it. It's overwhelming when people are doing like 1v1s and duels and 2v2s and that kind of stuff. But yeah, big fights, you don't see it a whole lot. You just get blasted in the back. Or foot or head or whatever. Like, but it's going to be a madhouse tomorrow, man. I think Kodo said they're going to be waiting to see where the boulders start flying from. They didn't have any targets they were expecting to take out yet. I think if they were being honest, I think they're more concerned about people coming for them probably. So they probably want to keep most of their crew at home, waiting to see what they need to defend. Imagine GK is going to be a madhouse. Cran, Bab Valley, those are going to be a madhouse. It's going to be out of control. And I say the elementalism looks great in this too. The lightning strikes, the fireballs, the lava balls, the star falls. I mean, all that stuff looks stunning at this scale as well.
You got health food? A health food, dog?
This does show you how important it's going to be at some point when we can actually get tabards and colors and that kind of stuff in the game. Because being able to see this and be able to definitely see, Cuprum versus Chrome, makes the fight feel totally different than when you can't tell who's who. All right. Well, I think it's going to be a short stream today, guys. I hate to stream and kind of dip, but I just wanted to get on here, say a couple things about TC, express my huge excitement for tomorrow and hype, and thanks to Henrik and the rest of the Star Vault team for finally making this a reality and making this happen. And it just looks incredible. And I'm hoping all the best for them tomorrow. I'm hoping that the launch goes great, that the servers can handle it as much as possible, that the queue times aren't unbearable, and we get to all get in here and experience all this new content and these new features to the game. Because, man, they look beautiful. They look awesome. God, I can't wait. I don't know if I'm going to be able to sleep, to be honest with you. I'm going to be so amped up, ready for this thing to kick off. It's going to be intense. But I hope you guys have a great night. Get some sleep if you can. Get your gear ready, because it's going to be wild tomorrow. It's going to be a madhouse war zone. It's going to be brutal, but we're all going to be here for it. All right. You guys have a great night. Talk to y'all soon.